Every year at Christmas, I have taken my holiday dinners with a positive outlook on life and have drawn up some aggressive plans for the coming year. But as I get older each year, I have more appreciation for the year I just had than I do making aggressive plans for the coming year. But I never cease to be thankful for the freedom I have enjoyed and the opportunities given to me by this great country. But when I prepared for my Christmas dinner yesterday, a sad and lonely feeling overtook me. I was sad because I realized how lucky I am to have the time and money to enjoy such a feast. And I was sad because I wondered if things would be as rosy next year. Like most Americans, I have invested some of my hard-earned money in stocks and mutual funds. And like everyone else, I've seen the value drop like a rock in the last few months. I used to chat it up with friends about sports and politics, but now we can't find a topic two people can agree on. And unlike before, when we would debate with our thoughts and fight like gentlemen, we now draw our swords and fight like cats and dogs. Luckily, I still have you to talk to. I can share my thoughts with you, and even though my blood pressure does rise a bit when I see some nasty messages, it is better than fistfights that most likely will send me to the hospital. Ouch. But what will happen next year? So, what do you think will happen next year? I don't think the stock market will do any better, as the interest rates, trade war, and government shutdown could kill any chance of recovery. We can bury our heads in the sand and believe all our problems will go away. But can we defy gravity? Some may call us pessimistic because it is not like there is only bad news all over the TV. Well, true. Because number one, nobody watches TV. And number two, no one wants to hear bad news. So you don't hear it much on the internet. Thirdly, who cares? A distant volcano eruption does not light up your night sky. Not when your night sky is lit up with a strange, mysterious light like this. Scientists would feed you a pill to help you sleep in the night by calling it a meteor. Sure, believe it. And practicing burying your head in the sand may be good exercise. After all, climate changes may turn our cities into sand in the not-so-distant future. If you search for 2018 natural disasters, you will find a long list of incidents all over the world. So, I can predict that trend to go on without being a psychic. When our team visited Indonesia following the September 2018 tsunami, we actually had lunch with the King of Sulawesi and attended the fundraising event for disaster relief. We were told how soil liquefaction in Palu engulfed the whole village. When I checked Wikipedia in October, the death toll stood at only 62. Even though the horror was unimaginable. But now it has been updated to 2,256 deaths, with an additional 1,075 missing. And now, another tsunami has hit them. I have sometimes wondered if we have been led to these areas by an invisible force, so we could share what we have seen with you. We booked the Indonesian trip months before the tsunami hit, so as to attend the Film Festival Award. We were supposed to receive the award from the King of Sulawesi, but ended up watching the film on how the devastation destroyed his kingdom. Then, on our supposedly joyful Panama Canal cruise, we stopped by Guatemala. We had heard about a volcanic eruption back in June, but it seemed to be just another blow to the already beaten-up country. The death toll was listed at 156, even after 6 months of searching. However, when we took the bus tour to see some ancient Mayan ruins, the tour guide told us how the entire village lost their lives because people had no transportation and no way to get out. They saw smoke rise and block the sun, but stayed home thinking the thin roof could protect them. But when ash, smoke, and rock fell from the sky, they all died. and they said thousands were killed. But since no evacuations were attempted, those will not be part of the statistics we see. And 2 weeks before we visited Guatemala, another eruption happened on November the 18th. So, do you need a psychic to tell you the Ring of Fire will continue to let out its fury? I can tell you based on the activities and trends that we will have more volcanic eruptions, more quakes, but less news because we are now numbed by these daily bad news tsunamis. And yesterday I saw the news of how an 8-year-old Guatemalan boy died and became the second child that has died while in immigration custody. It saddened me so much as I cherish every child's smile and feel the pain when a child cries. I recall the story about my goddaughter's great-grandfather, how he died during a World War II bombing and left her grandmother penniless and foodless. How his grandfather had to leave home after becoming an orphan so he could seek an unknown future versus staying for a terrible life. I felt sorry that the kids died when their parents made the dangerous decision to take them on a journey they were not prepared for. And I'm sad that I could not do much to help them. So you don't need a psychic to know the current immigration policy will ignite more debates and more conflicts. I am not a fan for the wall because I recall how East Germany collapsed despite the wall that was built. I recall how the wall and the guards with machine guns failed to kill all who tried to flee. You see, back in the Cold War era, when you were faced with the choice of you may die crossing the wall, or you will live a miserable life, many chose to take their chances. But with $1 trillion a year in deficits, we can't just leave an open border, right? But is there a better way? For that, I want to share a story with you. Back long, long ago, there was this place where drinking was forbidden. But laws only make people want to break them. So one day, the leader of the community decided to start a new law. A law that allowed drinking. Then soon, no one sold alcohol because the law allowed people not to pay for drinks. So, to stop illegal immigrants, the no birthright idea may be more powerful than a 30-foot wall. Most immigrants who have attempted the illegal crossing did so for their family. Whether it is through sending money home for the ones left behind, or uprooting the kids so they can have a better future, shutting that dream off may work better than you think. The other reason I do not like the wall idea is because there are more Mexicans leaving the United States than entering. So are we building the wall to keep them in or keep them out? The caravans are from the south of Mexico. When we were in the bus, the tour guide told us that much of the land was used as collateral so a family can have the money to attempt an illegal crossing to America. If they succeed, the one who crossed over would send money to pay off the debts. But if they failed, the land goes to the lender. Sadly, so many people have been lost, and the ones back home had no money to pay off the big debts and end up losing the last piece of land belonging to them. The few Guatemalans I have met were hard workers. They work so hard. Would it be possible to give them a chance to work, but not the right to bring family? Like the current temporary work permit, allowing them to work but deport them when they have any run-ins with the law. Allow them to work below the minimum wage so they would think twice before coming here. Instead of coming to America, maybe they will stop in Mexico. I remember I used to have cable TV and often watched CNN. Then when the cable bill started to cost more than it's worth, I dropped them. I get news from my cell phone like everyone else living in this 21st century. So with the bookmark news feed, I'm fed with the news I choose to get. But one day I stayed in a hotel and was flipping channels, and I was shocked on how the same incident was reported in two totally different angles from Fox News and CNN. I recalled seeing them and thought, wow, how can the two anchors have been talking about the same thing? Then I realized how North Korea could think of Kim Jong-un as the great leader, and why the Serbians massacred Bosnians even when they were neighbors, friends, classmates, before the Bosnian War. So, do you need a psychic to tell you what will happen in 2019 for politics? Like everyone else, I am probably also misled by the news I watch. And because you may have watched different news, maybe you will call me names and attack me. But what will that lead to? I once said if you keep on attacking the messenger, no one will deliver the mail. 2019 will be another harsh year. I think the only way the stock market will not drop is when inflation starts to fly through the roof. But the dividends you got from the $1,000 you invested 20 years ago may not even be enough to buy you a bagel. Hope I am wrong. As a person collecting Social Security retirement benefits, that will mean I may have to find another job. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.